All right, here's a non-spoiler review for TRON Ares. This latest one with Jared Leto, Greta Lee, Jodie Turner-Smith, and more. It is directed by Joachim Roning, who did one of the Pirates movies. He did one of the Maleficent movies, taking over for Joseph Kosinski, who did the 2010 TRON Legacy. Evan Peters also in this one. Of course, Jeff Bridges. No Tron in this one, even though it's called Tron. We'll talk about that. Again, this is more so a non-spoiler in general. Now, I'm going to tell you about the things when I did my non-spoiler out of the theater reaction. And what I called this movie was visual pizza, and I stand by that. This movie is a visual spectacle. To me, the visuals are worth the price of admission. If you are going into understanding that you want to just watch something really great on the IMAX screen, sounding great, and just watching really, like I said, just something to stimulate your eyes. Some people go to the movies like that. I would, as far as the TRON trilogy goes, the story itself isn't really there. It could have been. It starts off decent enough to where we've left TRON Legacy with the understanding that there are elements from the real world, the virtual world that can now transport into the real world. Well, now that we're into 2025, 15 years later, Evan Peters' character, Greta Lee's character, they both kind of competing to find the technology that can make that very thing happen. Now, Evan Peters has created created Ares, played by Jared Leto, inside of this world to be this ultimate soldier, and he's found a way to bring him in, but there's a catch. It only lasts for a little bit. Well, they got to find the code to make it last forever, and that's where the story itself kind of is contained. Now, Jodie Turner-Smith plays what's his face? Ares, number one in charge, Athena, and so she is his soldier. They're trying to figure out again, how do you get that code? There's a bit of like a Terminator aspect when the virtual beings, the programs get into the real world and they have to go after our heroes, Greta Lee being one of them. That to me is a cool aspect of this movie. The stuff that starts to fall apart is where they try to go with it afterwards. Like for the first 35, 40 minutes, I'm like, okay, I'm engaged. Then they just rely on the visuals. And the story itself gets pretty silly. The characters are fairly one note. Evan Peters, who's amazing, is really wasted. He's given nothing to do except be like a one note villain. And it's predictable that he was the villain. The second I saw him, like, oh, well, they're going to make him the villain. You can tell that right away. Taking over as Dillinger, of course, from an ancestor of our villain from the first movie. Gillian Anderson plays his mom. That was nice to see her. But again, their dynamic, it's there. She's disappointed in him, saying, come on, you have so much potential. What are you going to do? And of course, he just continues to do the wrong thing. And Greta Lee who was really, really solid in one of the movies that I really enjoyed from, I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago, was Past Lives. And she was really solid in that one. Again, she's not given anything to do in this one. She's just simply the really smart one who has the demons in her past because her sister was the one who was doing the technology for really the right things, and she was just kind of making video games, and now she's challenged to do the right thing, but they don't really do her that much. They don't give her that much to do. So every single time I was watching the movie, though, I was like, I'm not going to tell you that I was ever bored, because the music also by Trent Reznor and Atticus are just really, it's not the same as Daft Punk's, but yet it still fits into the TRON world. I do think that you should watch 1 and 2 to be caught up into what's happening. I was disappointed, though, that they didn't do more with the character of Sam, played by Garrett Hedlund in the last one, or at least more mentions. He's barely mentioned in it. Same with Olivia Wilde. Jeff Bridges, for when he's in it, kind of ties it all together. But for the most part, it's as I said, as I'm watching this movie, I remember I saw it with a friend, And I said at the end, I said, man, that was really cool to look at, but they just lost me about 45 minutes into it with the story because I just didn't care about anybody. Jared Leto, though, I know everybody gives crap to Jared Leto. I know they give him a lot of crap. And he's the whole reason I don't want to see this. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of comments of that, and I understand. He wasn't the problem in this movie. Like I liked what they were doing with Ares. It was predictable. Okay, well, clearly they're going this route with him, as we've seen a million times over. But are they going to do it interesting? Are they going to make it different than this story previously? And they don't. They kind of give up on it, really. It's just, you go, oh, all right, well, I guess he's doing that because he's found a new purpose. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Oh, all right. You can kind of see it coming from a mile away. I didn't watch any trailers, and I think that definitely helped. But as I mentioned in the beginning of this, in my out of the theater reaction, the visuals are just some of the best visuals I've seen. I would highly recommend it, not only in IMAX, but if you can see it in 3D, worth it. Good use of 3D. The things that happen inside of the virtual world, I wish there was a little bit more in the virtual world. I know there's a lot more in the real world, and that's kind of the progression of where we were going. I get it, but I would have liked to see a little bit more in that virtual world, because there's a lot of stuff that happens in the beginning in the virtual world that I liked. I just wish there were more rules established. I wish they really would have jumped more into the lore of this whole thing, because they're trying to reestablish Tron as a viable IP, because obviously the rides did so well in Disney World, Disneyland, whatever. But I don't think it's going to transfer over here. I don't think there's enough to grab people again, because I don't think just me saying, hey, if you want visually, this is an experience, I don't think that's enough for you to say, well, I want to spend my money on that. I want to go check that out, because I think that if you go in with low expectations, then you'll go, oh, that was fun to watch. But it's not a great movie. So much so I'll probably have to go 2.9 out of 5 right before we get to that 3, because I can't just give it a pass because the visuals are so amazing and I wasn't bored. That's just not enough to say, yes, good movie. I got to go 2.9, right at that cusp. But I enjoyed watching it, if that makes sense. So anyway, that's my non-spoiler review for Tron Ares. Are you interested in this? Do you want to see this movie? Do you care? Put your thoughts in there, man. I want to know. Click like, comment, all that and more. I got more reviews coming out. I got more reactions coming out. I got more out of the theater reactions coming out. So thanks for being here. I appreciate you. See you soon.
This message is sponsored by Raycon. It's Raycon's anniversary, and what better way to celebrate than with a deal on the Everyday Earbuds Classic. They're now 20% off, so it's the perfect time to get your hands on these. Reliable, super comfy, and easy to take anywhere. You're going to see exactly why they have been a fan favorite since day one. The Everyday Earbuds Classics are loaded with upgrades. You got active noise cancellation, multi-point connectivity, so you can pair with 2 devices at once, and an ergonomic fit that actually stays put no matter what you're doing. Everyday features that live up to the name. You got a quick charge. 10 minutes gives you 90 minutes of playtime, up to 32 hours of battery life with the case. Awareness mode, perfect when I'm going to take the dog out or if I'm on the train. It's amazing. Over 3 million customers already love Raycons, and they come with a 30-day happiness guarantee. So if you don't love them, returns are easy, so you have nothing to lose. I really dig it. As I mentioned, I'm on the train. I got something to listen to. I got these buds. They're so easy. Pop them in my case, and it's just convenient. So go to buyraycon.com/Kristian. Get 20% off the Everyday Earbuds Classic.